Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Scout Fantasy PGA-DFS. My name is Alex White. I am here with my co-host, Mark. Doing it, Mark.
You cut out on me.
Bummer. Well, welcome guys. Scout DFS PGA Chat. I'm with Mark Ferris. How are we doing today, Mark?
Doing good. Just waiting for the snow to start.
Nice. You getting hit pretty hard down there?
I think we're supposed to get 7 to 14 inches.
Fun. That'll be nice getting to work or having a day off, spending with the kids. School off.
Yep. No golf for me tomorrow.
Bummer. It's just started to rain here. Maybe we'll get some sun in North Carolina.
Yeah,
Let's get started. The weather's supposed to be nice in Mexico this week. So hopefully we can get away from these crazy weather days that we've been having in PGA. It looks like 4 days of sun. As of right now, we can't predict the weather, but fingers crossed that we don't have any crazy rounds like Spieth shooting 10 over on a Sunday. I think that's weather related. Who knows? He has been pretty bad on the weekends, but 10 over, that's a tough round for a player of his caliber.
Yeah, that shocked me.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand it. I don't know where that comes from. I mean, a golfer that goes to shoot a 64 to start his round, he shoots a 7 under, and then he's just been so flat throughout the weekends. We'll get to him later. This week, we're headed to WGC Mexico. This event is Club de Golf Chapultepec. That is the course we're heading to. It's a par 71. The yardage is 7,330 yards on the scorecard, but really with the elevation changes, a lot of the tour players have been quoted saying it plays around 68 to 7,000 given where the tee boxes are set up for that given day. So it does play a little bit shorter, and you kind of see that with, other short golfers being at the top of leaderboards like RCB. Even Phil, he's not a big bomber, but he's won at this course, had some good history. They've only played this event at this course 2 times, so we don't have a ton of statistical data to go off of with only 2 events here. But with all these really good golfers, they always invite the top 50 in the world. It's going to be kind of hard to find our edge with a no-cut event. So we're going to do our best this week to really try to give you some lower-owned golfers that are going to score DraftKings points all 4 days for you. Mark, anything you want to touch on about the course? I mean, I don't know a ton about it right now. I just know it's a par 71. The greens are Poa-annua, 7,300 yards. It kind of plays like Riviera. I see a lot of the same names at the top of the leaderboard from Riviera that kind of play well and roll into this week. Anything you have on the course?
It has the Kikuyu fairways like they had at Riviera. The rough, I assume, is the same grass, but I really don't have a whole lot of information on it. Like you said, there's not a whole lot of history because they've only played the course twice. I think prior to that, if I'm not mistaken, it was played at Doral, which was the World Golf Championship Mexico at Doral. For some reason, it was in Florida. How you get Mexico out of that, I don't know, but like I said, this course is going to be, you're better off looking at some similar courses, which, like you said, is Riviera, Firestone's comparable, some of the same courses we talked about last week. So, if pretty much the same scenario we talked about last week, same usage that we talked about last week, you could probably go with this week. You just don't have as many guys to pick from.
Okay, great. So, I know we try to figure out the best changing, but let's start with Bryson at 10,000 all the way up, who deserves the highest price golfer on the field. The guy's just playing lights out right now. What are your thoughts on this top?
On which one is that? I'm sorry, you cut out.
DeChambeau at 10K all the way up to Justin Thomas at 11.8.
DeChambeau, I think, is going to be popular. Simply because DeChambeau has been playing well. He didn't probably perform last week the way he had hoped he would have performed, or that we hoped he would perform. But all in all, it wasn't a poor performance. The guys at the top that I'm really liking this week are John Rahm, Ricky Fowler, and Roy McIlroy. If Roy McIlroy can get his putter working, he's striking the ball well. I could see him top 5, top 10 easily here, and he could win it.
Yeah, I like Rory a lot. He showed me a lot last week at Riviera. Um, just betting, each round he went out, he kind of improved upon his score. And I mean, obviously showing on that -8 on Saturday. Yeah, well, I guess it would have been Saturday, not Friday, even though that was the second round. I mean, a round like that is lights out, and if he's got that in the bag, I mean, if he could pull off even, one like that, and then -3 each of the other days, I could definitely see his name at the top of the leaderboard. I like Justin Thomas. It's hard not to. He's got top five with a second last season. Any love for Dustin Johnson? I really feel like he's going to be the odd man out this week.
Yeah, and that's about the time Dustin Johnson performs well and wins. He's kind of let people down the last couple of weeks because last couple of tournaments that he's been in, because everybody anticipates him winning. It's just become commonplace for that. But poor performance last week. I can see his ownership being down. And shockingly enough, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't turn it on and win this week. But I doubt that I'm going to be heavy ownership in Dustin Johnson.
Okay. Yeah, my favorite golfers this week in that top range are DeChambeau. Even though he hasn't played the course, I just feel like his game can play anywhere. He doesn't really have a hole in his game. He's consistent from the tee all the way to the green. He did underperform a little bit last week, and still at top 15. I mean, if you're going to give me your B game and you still can top 15, there's no reason that you should be. I think you should be an 11K golfer if you're able to pull that off. DeChambeau is solid as can be, and I think he's awesome for cash this week. Hopefully his ownership's not super high with no course history. Some people just won't play golf that hasn't played a course before. At a no-cut event, DeChambeau can rattle off some serious birdies. I love him.
Yeah, he won't have trouble doing the math either to convert the yardage.
Yeah, no, honestly, he might gain an edge with that. Being able to calculate for the elevation change, it might give him another advantage.
Yep.
I like John Rahm. He's as consistent as can be. I think he has 6 top 10s in a row. That's consistency at its finest. You're not really going to find a golfer that's going to do that week in and week out, and I don't see any reason he can't be top 3 this week. Honestly, if I was a betting man, if it was legal in North Carolina, I think that's where my money would be on this week, is on Rahm. DJ will be a good tournament option, I think. I really do think he might come under 10%, which is just wild. And then Justin Thomas will probably be the highest owned for good reason in that range. I like him, though. I'm not going to not play Justin Thomas. There's no reason to. Again, there's not a hole in his game right now, and he's got a chance to win every single time he goes out. I'm going to blame his bad Sunday round on slow play, on weather, on being on Monday. There's multiple reasons that he might have just been worn out by the end of the week.
I think they were all worn out by the end of the week. And when we get into the next 5 guys, one guy that he's playing solid, but I just don't know how that long weekend is going to affect him, and that's Tiger Woods. I don't anticipate him playing poorly, but I don't look for Tiger to come out with the same energy and fire that he has in the past few weeks. I think he's just worn out.
Yeah, it is a lot, but he did have a break before that. He didn't play before Riviera, or did he? Did he?
No, yeah.
It was 2
play AT&T.
I think he had
not play AT&T.
Correct. He took a break. So I think he might be. I don't know. It's a lot for him. But one thing that Woods did bring, his first 2 rounds, he was number 1 in shots gained putting and number 1 in shots gained approach. He just couldn't drive the ball. And that was the issue. That's always been his issue at Riviera. I kind of mentioned that in our last podcast, is if he can drive the ball, I think that he'll be solid. In this course, I don't think driving is as important as it is in Riviera. So I like Tiger Woods this week.
Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Tiger Woods. I just probably would go heavier on him if he was coming back. This was the week he was coming back and not Riviera, because I just the interview that he had at the end of Sunday, you could tell he was whipped. But again, these guys are well conditioned. He's well conditioned. He can recover quickly. I just think that if he does play badly, I think that'll be because he just hasn't recovered.
Yeah, I could see that. But with the field like this, Tiger Vision might just come out. When he plays in top fields like this, he's hard to beat. Even now, he could top 5, and it wouldn't surprise anybody. So, I mean, I'm going to be on Tiger. 95 is a good price for him, too, especially if he could be #1 in approach and #1 in putting, even 2 out of the 4 rounds. I mean, he's going to put up good scores. I think he was – what did he end up last week? Was he top 15? I know he was top 20 for sure.
He was top 15 at one point. I don't know if he ended up there or not because he started to fall towards the end when you could tell he was getting tired.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, all in all, though, he performed well. And, you know, like I said, I'm not avoiding Tiger. I'm just putting the word of caution out there on Tiger this week.
Sure. And then Phil, he's won here. I think won here last year. T for 7, tied for 7th place in 2017. He's coming off a win a couple weeks ago. He kind of had a lackluster performance. Didn't drive the ball well. Didn't putt great. But any love for him? Because I could definitely see him going overlooked again this week.
Yeah, I'll play Phil. You know, again, I don't know that he will be core for me because he may go overlooked, but a lot of people want to run to the guy that won last year because they automatically think because he won last year he's going to win this year, and that's not always the case. A side note though on Tiger too, you're partially correct there too because what does Tiger get up for? He gets up for majors, and he gets up for World Golf Championships. That's what this is. So again, like I said, I think he's tired, but outperforming what I think is not far-fetched.
Sure. And as we drop down from there, we're kind of in the – let's start with Cantlay at 8,500 and work ourselves all the way up to Schauffele. So we got Cantlay all the way to Schauffele. We'll kind of break it down. There's only 72 golfers, so we'll spend a little bit of time and shorter.
Yeah. One we missed right above Tiger, too, is Brooks Koepka. I think, you know, he doesn't have – I don't know if he played here last year or not. No, he's played 2 years ago and he was 48. But, you know, Brooks could put some solid rounds together on this course because he's a long hitter and it's a long course, but with the altitude difference, it's not. So, you know, he could go 3-wood and probably hit it as far as some of these guys hit driver.
Yeah, Brooks is my fade of the week, though, Mark. He will be my fade. So a guy that hasn't golfed on U.S. soil, I think it's going to take him just a little bit to get acclimated. I mean, he's solid. I love Brooks. Honestly, he might be my favorite golfer in the world. So me fading him means a lot. So I will not fade him again. But this week, he is not really on my radar. And I say that, and he could easily go out there and win. That's what Brooks does. People have underestimated him at majors over and over again. And once he's called the big game hunter, which means he plays really good in big fields with the best golfers in the world. So he is my fade, but I'm not going to say that you guys have to do that. I have to find a golfer in this top range to get away from, take a stand on, and this week it is Brooks.
And you're right. This is a week where you have to pick somebody that you're just not going to play and just hope that it works out. And, you know, the thing is, if it was me saying to fade him, the way my history's gone the last couple of weeks with guys I wanted to fade with Adam Scott, and I forget who it was last week, I'd say play the heck out of him because everybody I criticize or I fade, they performed well. So, you know, it's like I said, Alex is right though. You gotta just pick one guy and say, hey, I'm not going to play him. And you know, for me in that same group, it might be this week for me. It might be Tiger Woods because that's kind of where I was going. Not going to be a complete fade, but you're not going to see me go all in on it.
Perfect. So back down to that range. Let's talk about Leishman. We both made a pretty good call on him last week. We kind of predicted a good week. His season is just phenomenal right now. There's not really, I mean, him, John Rahm are kind of in the same category, but Leishman keeps being, you know, $1,000 to $2,000 cheaper than that. So what do you think about Leishman this week? Do you think he can continue that, or do you think this is the week he kind of just plays okay?
I think he can. I think he can play well. I mean, it's just like at Riviera and these Kikuyu courses. The Australians are more used to that than some of these players. So with that being said, Leishman could be a solid play. Now, granted, last year he didn't finish top 25, but it was the first time playing the course. And, you know, it's kind of like we talked about last week. Some of these guys, it just takes them a while to get to the course. You know, some of them play 3 years in a row and consistently get better every year. So with Leishman's game improvements and the way he's playing now, I could see a top 20 out of him easily.
Yeah, and I mean, last year at Riviera, he missed the cut and then went into this and played T37, which is not great, but now he's coming in off a top 5, and he's been top 5ing constantly this season. So I think Leishman's a solid play in that range, and I really think the ownership will be towards like Finau and Matsuyama in that upper range. So, and even Casey, right below him. I think Leishman's a lower owned tournament option again this week. And people just, I don't know what it is about him. They think he's just mediocre, but he's not mediocre anymore. He is a very, very consistent and solid golfer. And each week he just keeps making me money. So I'm going to roster him. I do like Spieth this week. 4 weeks ago, he had one good round and then kind of played okay. And then he had 2 good rounds, and then he had 2.5 good rounds. Last week, he put 3.5 good rounds, but he had 9 absolutely miserable rounds. Miserable holes, not rounds. He had 9 holes that completely destroyed his scorecard. I mean, all he has to do is go out there and just par half of those, and he still ends up top 40 with really good DraftKings points. That's why I like him in a no-cut event, because he can score like crazy. If he wouldn't have doubled, tripled, quad, his scorecard doesn't look that bad. And, people are frustrated when they have a golfer in the top 15 going into Sunday and he does that to them. So that'll lower his ownership, the people that rostered him. It actually happened to Steve a couple weeks ago. He had a really good lineup with Spieth going, and he faded on Sunday.
Yep.
But he was 5% owned. It's Jordan Spieth. If I'm going to get him at 5% owned in a no-cut event, maybe he's a little bit higher this week. I'm going to take that. And I haven't recommended him all season. It takes a lot for me to recommend Spieth because he was extremely volatile at this point in his career. But I like Spieth this week.
Yeah, and we've said this before, but I think, in my opinion, I think what Spieth is doing is, one, I think he's trying too hard, and I think he's thinking too much. If he just goes out and plays the game, I think he's going to be fine. And we've said this for a couple of weeks now. One of these weeks, he's going to break out, and he's going to become the old Jordan Spieth again. It's just trying to predict when that's going to happen, and this could very well be the week. And it's a good week, maybe, to go back in on Spieth, because you're pretty much guaranteed 4 rounds, assuming there's no injuries or withdrawals for some other reason. And it is a somewhat major event, and Spieth's another one that gets up for majors. So hopefully, I just think he needs to get his head on straight. I mean, that's all it is. If you listen to him talk, he just doesn't have the confidence when he's doing an interview that he had 2-3 years ago. And again, I think a lot of that is just mental. He's just thinking way too much.
Yeah, and people forget. He's 25 years old. Like, he's got a while to figure out this game. But he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and when he's playing bad, he wears his emotions on his sleeves. Like, he'll be yelling at his ball, he'll yell at the ground, he'll yell at his clubs. But when he's playing well, you see him smiling and high-fiving his caddy. I don't know. I see 4 rounds coming. I think he's gearing up for a really good Masters run, and I think it starts this week.
And that's a good point, too. He had so much success so fast that everybody just automatically expects him to do perfectly all the time. And sometimes I think maybe he himself thinks he needs to be perfect all the time. And, once he gets out of that mode, you're going to see the old Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, I think what happened is Tiger came back, and there goes his confidence, because he wanted to be the new Tiger. And Tiger came back, and he's like, well, crap, I can't be the new Tiger. Tiger's back. And, people were comparing him to him. They're like, Spieth, he's going to be the next Tiger. He's going to be the next Tiger. And that's a lot of pressure for a 21-year-old kid, when you're winning these majors. So I think Tiger's in his head. So hopefully they're not paired up together. Otherwise, I'm not rostering Spieth. That's something to check, too. Honestly, there is a Tiger effect. Like, when people are partnered up with that guy, they normally don't perform as well. There's a lot of pressure. The crowds are bigger. So look into that. Honestly, any edge that you can gain on something like that is important. And actually, I think Abraham Answer, the Mexican, number 1 ranked Mexican in the world, he is actually paired up with Tiger. So if you plan on playing him, take that into effect. I don't know the other golfer in their pairing, but I know Abraham Answer is one of them.
Yeah, because one of them, somebody withdrew, but I don't think that was Answer. That was, there's 2 of them that have withdrawn. I was going to look here real quick and see who they were.
Go ahead. While Mark's looking on that, I'll touch on Cantlay. I think he's a solid cash play at 8,500. He played consistently, kind of swept under the rug last week, just a very mediocre 6 under. But he's consistent, and 8,500 is a very good price for a guy that can approach the ball. He's top 3 in approach. The last 12 rounds of this field. And this field being as good as it is, that's a really phenomenal feat for a golfer at 8,500. He just needs to putt right. When you've got to take a chance on ball strikers. That's when Matsuyama is in the top of the leaderboards. It's the weeks he putts well. When Cantlay's at the top of the leaderboards, it's when he putts well. They're not the best from short game and around the green, but with approach like that, I think Cantlay's an awesome play at 8,500. Don't overlook Paul Casey at 86. He's playing great, second, and then last week I think he was top 20 again. Really good approach shots, really good around the green game. He's solid all the way through. And I love Bubba Watson again this week. He plays well at the WGC Event. I think he's a tournament option. I think people will go to Cantlay and Casey over him in that exact same range. So I think Bubba will be my number one or top owned tournament player the entire week. His tee to green game is phenomenal. He really hurt me with his double bogey on 18, pretty much cut my winnings in half with the last hole last week. I still end up profiting 100% in cash still, and which is great. But Bubba seriously destroyed my GPP. So I'm going to go back. Hopefully made some people mad last week, and they'll be afraid to roster him, but I will not. I'll go straight back to the low.
Yes. Siwoo Kim and Andrew Putnam are the two that have withdrawn so far.
Okay. Siwoo,
he withdrew.
Great. All right. So anything else you want to touch on in this 8K range? We have Patrick Reed at 8K all the way up to Bubba at 84, who I just touched on. Do you have any love for Bubba? Obviously, I'm a little bit passionate about him.
Yeah, I think Bubba's a GPP play. I don't know that I would do with doing the cash, but the one guy that I do like in there, and I've liked him for several weeks, and I think he's actually starting to pick his game up, is Tommy Fleetwood. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy Fleetwood doesn't play well. And if you want to really go with the Spanish effect, you got Sergio Garcia there too. And he's played well at this course. So Sergio's another one that could be a good cash and a GPP play.
Yeah, I like Sergio a lot. His ball striking was really good last week, and he had a lot of birdies. He was top 15 in the field with birdies. He just kept bogeying. He puts up big numbers. He'll do doubles once in a while, but if he can avoid those big 3 putts, I think Sergio is a very solid call at 8,000.
Yeah, he played well last week, but you didn't see a whole lot of him in the TV coverage just simply because I guess he just wasn't in the mix enough that they wanted to show it, but he did play well.
Well, yeah, he started it with 4 over in round 1, and then he made the cut. He hit, I think it was 4 under in round 2 and just made the cut at even, and then kind of slowly, he had a decent 3rd round and a mediocre 4th round. He didn't play great, but his birdies were awesome. And in a field like this at 8K, he's worth taking a chance on at probably a pretty low ownership, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, let's see. Let's move on down like 7,500. Let's start with Louis Oosthuizen. Very disappointing week. All the way up to Ian Poulter at 79, who is just having an absolute tear on the European tour right now. He is like top 10ing everything over there.
You know who I like there? Ian Poulter.
Well, Ian Poulter, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So go ahead.
I like him. I like RCB. I think that's another Spanish play there. There's several guys in this range now. I don't know that I'll. Again, Louis Oosthuizen was the one that I was all in on last week, and he just bombed. So that hurt a lot of my lineups because I had Oosthuizen pretty heavy, probably in the 3rd of my lineup. So that hurt me pretty good. Now, I did get a 3rd of my lineup to do a 6 out of 6. I just didn't have anybody, we had 1 or 2 guys in each one of those lineups that barely made the cut at even par and then didn't do what Sergio did and spiked on the weekend. But, Oosthuizen, you could try him again if you want. Tyrrell Hatton, that's another one down around that range. He's at 7,300. Tyrrell Hatton he played this course well. I think he's only played here twice. He's a third and 10th. Well, everybody's played twice, but Tyrrell's been 10th in 2017 and 3rd in 2018.
Yeah, I think a lot of the ownership goes to Woodland at 79 in this range. I think it goes to 73 with Tyrell Hatton, just based on the course history. People are going to gravitate towards that. And then also I don't know if people are going to play Kuchar this week. I mean, the cash players probably will at that price. It's pretty low for Cooch. I don't really love all three of them. I mean, I think Hatton's a solid play just based on his long irons. He's a good putter. And he played okay his last tournament out. And just, I don't know, repeating, 3 top 10s in a row is challenging on any course, let alone when you have a field this strong.
Absolutely. I'll probably go with Cooch some. I mean, just simply because at this price, Kuchar probably will get value. Like you said, I mean, I don't know how much the ownership's going to be with him.
Yeah, that's challenging. Let's see. I think RCB also will garner some ownership. He's a good call, though. I like him.
Yeah.
Charles Howell is playing just phenomenal right now. He's no longer top 25ing. He's decided he wants to be top 10 in tournaments, which, last week, I kind of overlooked him, if I'm being honest. He was 7,900. He's a really good price. And, I just didn't play enough of him. But he ended up, I think he was top 10 last week. And
Charles Howell's been playing well for the last 2 years, but it's all under the radar.
Yeah, I mean, he's never played this course, so that might slow down kind of his ownership. I really like Charles Howell this week at 78. These approaches are just on point right now, and he's putting better than he has the past 4 years. So, I mean, if you're putting well and your approaches are better, that's why his results are showing he's just a better golfer. And if they're going to keep putting him under 8K, I'm going to roster him in cash all over the place. But last week, you could have rostered him in GPPs. He was under 7% owned.
Yeah. If you want 10x, at 7,800, you only need 78 points.
Yeah, I think that's a great call. I like Matthew Fitzpatrick at 76. He's played well at the Omega Masters, which is another high elevation course. So he kind of knows. Actually, he's won that event back-to-back years. And that means he kind of has an idea of how elevation changes move his ball. He's a good around the green, decent putter as well. So as long as he approaches it and shoots well off the tee and can put it in the fairway, that was his issue at the last tournament. He just couldn't put it in the fairway. It's not as penal at this tournament. Phil has been quoted saying the fairways are pretty wide here, so it's not going to be as big of an issue as it was. I think it was the AT&T, those tight fairways that Fitzpatrick kind of melted down on Thursday and Friday. He didn't play great.
We've seen how wide fairways Phil needs, so Phil says they're wide. They're wide.
Yeah, I mean, but that's also why he's won. That's kind of why I like Tiger again, was that quote from Phil. If Tiger can put it in the fairway, that's the tournaments you want him on, And even Daniel Berger, he's not playing. He's actually playing at the Puerto Rico Open, but he's played well at this tournament. Remember what I said? Wide fairways, that's where Berger plays good on. So, I mean, that means a lot to some golfers. If they can hit the ball out of the short stuff, even if it's the intermediate, that's a lot easier to predict than hitting it out of the thick stuff.
He was top 15 last year, Berger, which kind of surprised me he didn't come back, but maybe he didn't qualify. I guess he might have fallen far enough out of the rankings that he did qualify. But yeah, he's played well here.
Yeah, another golfer I want to touch on, Cam Smith. I'm going to go back to him. He's just a great scorer, good off the tee and good around the green at 7,400. Never played the course, but he's in good form. He didn't play great on the weekend, but he made the cut for you. He's good, solid cash option at 7,400. That's too cheap for a golfer of his caliber. Luton, J-O-S-T.
Yeah, that's one name I was going to mention later too. He's been playing well.
Yeah, he's playing well, and he's number 3 in approach in the entire European Tour. So I'm always approach. I mean, if you can get the ball to the green and put it close in proximity to the hole, you're going to have more opportunities than the golfer next to you. So I'll take a dart, on a European golfer at low ownership. Luton's a good call.
Yeah, 7,300. Another one a little bit further down that I think is probably going to have low ownership simply because I'll be quite honest with you, I'd never really heard of him. Tom Lewis. He's from England. His last 3 tournaments all in January. He was a 3rd, a 48th, and a 9th. Now, all of them were in Europe. It was the Saudi, the Dubai, and the Abu Dhabi. But he's another one. If you want to take a dart, take a dart.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know, in an event with no cut, just try it. You know, if you're like, I really don't know, give it a shot because you have no idea who's going to be at the top of that leaderboard. Like I played JB all freaking year, and then I don't play him, not a single lineup last week. And I should have because he plays good at the Masters and he plays good at Memorial. He fit my corollary courses, and I decided not to play him. And I mean, you know, that's the shots you got to take. Obviously, JB is a well-known name, and Tom Lewis is not. But I mean, there's no cut, so you're not going to hurt yourself unless that guy decides he wants to withdraw because he's playing that bad. Which, you know, if you're in that good a form, it's worth taking a shot on a guy that could come out and make some birdies for you.
My God, is JB slow?
Oh my gosh!
I mean, you know, and the funny thing is, he and Justin Thomas know each other because they're both from Kentucky. I mean, they're both from the Louisville area. In fact, I have a friend that actually coached at the University of Kentucky and coached there was on the staff there when JB was there, and he actually coached Justin Thomas in high school. So you know he knows both of them, and you know it's just I think that was what kind of hurt Justin was how slow JB played.
Yeah, I mean that could be it. Justin didn't really comment on it. He's kind of a stand-up guy. He just takes, you know, he just plays his rounds. He said that JB and him are friends. He said that when he was a kid, JB used to like let him underneath the just come and like kind of hit off the driving range when he was hitting there. So I mean, they're good guys, and he like tweeted that, you know, congrats to JB and stuff. So I know he was disappointed in this Sunday round, but I mean, is JB in the field, by the way?
He is in the field supposedly. He is on. I think he's on FanDuel, but he is not on DraftKings at this point.
Well, that's odd, not having the last week's winner in your player pool, but we'll see when that unfolds where his price will be. I'd probably guess around like 7,500 if I could put a price on it.
Let me double check FanDuel while we're here, and I'll let you know where he is on that one. But I'm pretty sure he's because I kept double checking just to make sure, you know, where he is, but I haven't seen DraftKings add him. DraftKings added a couple of players. But they didn't. Oh, now it says okay, they've got him out. He's not playing.
Okay, yeah, the golfers they added this morning, I think, were Ryan Fox and like Lucas Beauregard or something like that.
Yeah, Ryan Fox is another one. If you want to take a dart, might not be a bad one to look at.
Yeah, he's a heck of a scorer. I remember him popping in a few tournaments last year. Just like on the DK Live app, I saw his name pop up at some of like the majors of like 3 birdies in a row. If you can do that on major style tournaments and courses, then I mean he's worth a shot for sure. I don't know what his price is. I haven't looked into it yet since he's been posted.
6,600 on DraftKings.
Well, there you go. I mean that's how you fit in your Justin Thomases and your higher priced golfers. I highly recommend doing.
And he is not on FanDuel.
Okay. Good notes. And then, we have to touch on this. 7,200, Henrik Stenson. The price makes absolutely no sense. He's not playing well right now. Maybe that's why they priced him there. DK knows what they're doing. They're either trapping everybody with their algorithm or they are giving you a free square. What do you think?
I am going to take one shot at Stenson just because I have not seen anything out of Stenson that would make me believe that he's not the same Heinrich that he was. He's just playing poorly, and you know all these golfers play poorly over in a stretch. Look at Jordan. I mean, Jordan's not consistently playing well or consistently playing bad. He's just bouncing all over the place. But yeah, like you said, that's either a trap or something. I mean, he's 7,200 on DraftKings, and he is 9,600 on FanDuel. So one of the two of them, one's either overly confident or the other one is very pessimistic.
Yeah, he in the last 12 rounds in my stat model, he's like 40th. But when I bump it up to like the last 36 rounds, he's like 4th based on like the stats and stuff I'm looking for. So it's really challenging for me to kind of figure him out. It's either I need to take a stand and just not do it at all, or I need to be at least like 15% with Stenson because he's going to garner ownership. And I mean, it's kind of pointless just to put in, 5% Stenson and pray that one lineup hits. I mean, it can happen. Don't get me wrong. That's DFS. But if you're going to play a golfer like that, at that price, you either need to play him or I recommend not playing him. It's one of the other.
Yeah, and for me, I would be more likely to play him on DraftKings than I would on FanDuel, just simply because of the pricing. There's a lot of guys around 9,600 on FanDuel that you could take that are playing better than he is right now. But there's not a whole lot of guys on DraftKings that around the price he's at that are playing or are capable of playing to the level that he is.
Yeah, absolutely. What about Shane Lowry at the same price? A lot of people were kind of on him at the AT&T where he has good history. He's never played this course, but he was coming off a win a couple weeks prior to that very poor performance at AT&T. I don't know if that was weather related, not playing on U.S. soil or travel. I mean, it could have been a myriad of things, but this week at 7,200, that seems like a good price for a golfer that was almost 20% owned at 8,900, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think he's another one that's, if you're going to take a dart and you want a low price guy, take it, because I mean, realistically, even at AT&T, the only bad round he had was the second round. He shot a 71 in the first round, a 67 in the third, and he threw a 77 in between, which is why he didn't make the cut. So, I mean, you got one bad round there out of, 11. So this year. So, I wouldn't hold that against him. And at 7,200, again, if you want 10x, 72 points out of a $7,200 golfer named Shane Lowry isn't out of the question.
Yep. And then let's talk about our old man, Lee Westwood. We always talk about our older golfers. They've been doing us pretty well recently. What do you think about Lee? I think he's a solid option this week. And I think he won a couple weeks ago in the European Tour. Am I wrong on that? Or do you have any
if what I'm looking at for what DraftKings has for his game logs, he missed the cut at Saudi. He was seventh at the Dubai and 16th in Abu Dhabi. So,
okay,
other than the missed cut at the Saudi, he's playing well.
Okay, I think he was in first after round 3. Then that's probably what I saw, because in one of those he was definitely in the lead. It was probably the one he got 7th in.
Well, in the Saudi, he shot 69 in the first round, then came back to the 75 and was 4 over par. So, I guess it would be a par 70.
What's his low round of the year? Because I mean, we want our golfers to score, so it's nice to know if he can shoot like low, 65s. It'd be great to know if he's to that level right now.
66 in the first round at the Abu Dhabi, and he shot 67 in the first and last round at the Omega.
Okay, all right. I mean, that's solid. If he shoots 67s, 3 rounds, that's 12 under right there.
Distance isn't going to be a challenge this week either because of the altitude. So.
Yep, absolutely. I completely agree. Your player pool will widen. It's not a bomb and gouge course, so you have more players to choose from. Let's move down. I like Kevin Na in that 6,900 range. I think he's a solid option. He's not playing great right now, but this kind of emulates a little bit of Riviera, and he's played well there at this course. He played T52 in 2017, didn't play it last year. I mean, I don't know. He just fits kind of my statistical mold. He's pretty good with his long irons. He's good at par 4s. And his putting, he's number 1 in the field on POA in the last 36 rounds for me.
Yeah, and Kevin Na's another guy that's under the radar. You don't see a whole lot of TV coverage on him. He just goes out and shoots a solid round. And again, I mean, right below him at the same price. I mean, he's at the same price, but he's listed below him is Emiliano Grillo. I don't see how he's $6,900.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me, I like Grillo. I mean, he's number 1 in opportunities gained, which means that he's getting really close to the hole. His putting just sucks. He's like Keegan Bradley. Last week he was like top 3 in approach, and they're the same player essentially. They're just amazing at getting the ball to the hole. They just don't know how to put it in the hole. That's a misprice though, in my opinion. I think Grillo is actually a cash option at 6,900.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. And then I like Russell Knox. He's been playing well. Let's see. He's at a 70th in 2017, which means he was like bottom 3. But distance is not really an issue here. He's 14th and then 12th in his last 2 tournaments. So 6,800. I think that's a good way to hop on Russell Knox. He's a player that kind of carries his momentum, just like Siwoo, and he carried his momentum into last week. And proved that a golfer that missed the cut 3 times in a row can pull off a top 3 out of nowhere just based on form. You can't always go off course history. Form plays a big role, and Russell Knox last time out was pretty solid at the AT&T.
Yeah, I agree, because of course you don't have a whole lot of history here anyway, so that cannot be your deciding factor. It can be one of the factors, but it can't be the deciding one. Another guy that's down there is pretty low down there. He's at 6,500. Again, like I said, Ryan Fox at 6,600. I wouldn't hesitate throwing him into a lineup if you want to try to get more guys towards the top. The other guy is Aaron, and I hope I'm saying this right, Ray or Rye. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I was going to mention him. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, Aaron, he's another English golfer. But his last 4 tournaments, 17th, 34th, 29th, and 54th. So, if you get a guy in this field and he finishes top 20 at $6,500, you take that all day.
Yeah, I like Aaron Rye. I even like Danny Willett. He's playing really good right now. He didn't have a bad round at Riviera. I think he shot below par each round he was out there. There might have been one bad round, but Willett, 2 back-to-back made cuts, on U.S. soil, and I think he might be gearing up for the Masters too. He's not to the level, to win again. I really highly doubt that, but at that price, I think Willett's a solid option. He's not a huge scorer, which could hurt you, but if he avoids bogeys, you might get some good finishing position with him.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's, there's several guys down in that 6,000, 6,500 range that are viable plays. Now, there's also some that I wouldn't touch because unless you really want to take an outside shot at, because I've never heard of them. But another one that I think we discussed, I think we were doing the live streams at that point, maybe not, but it's a Sony. Shugo Imihira. He doesn't play much in the U.S., but he plays in the World Golf Classics, and he played at the Sony Open in Hawaii, and he was tied for 33rd. Every round was 69 or better except for 1. So he's another scorer, and he's very cheap. Doesn't take much to meet value at $6,100.
Yeah, Shugo's got a place in my heart. It was one of their last European Tour events last year. I won a European GPP, and he was my 2% owner. He won the tournament and turned $3 into 200. So Shugo's my boy.
Yeah, you like guys to do that for you, don't you?
Yeah, if you win me money, you got a special place in my heart. I don't care who you are.
That's right. That'll turn you on somebody faster than it'll turn you off.
That's right. Okay, well, let's make some lineups and get out of here. Okay. Before we start the lineups, guys, I am on Slack chat now. At Coach White DFS is my name on there. You can reach me there. You can reach me on Twitter at Coach White DFS as well. Mark, where can they find you?
I'm also on Slack chat, and I'm sure Alex will attest. He was on there last week, and there's not a whole lot of people in there yet. We need to get more people in there, but there's a lot of back and forth. Some of it's just back and forth between me and Alex, but everybody that's in the room can read it. And we had a couple of guys this week that did pretty well, and they were going off the advice that we had given on our live stream and in our articles. But then, like we both said last week, we don't sometimes make up our mind until Wednesday night. And it's now Tuesday night, and you'll read articles on Wednesday morning. So if we change our mind, you're not going to know unless you're on Slack chat. I'm also on Twitter at Ferris1967 if you want to get me on there too.
Perfect. Well said. I do want to give a shout out to Steve Renner for absolutely crushing it in NHL last night. Pulled in a big amount of money.
Yeah.
Congrats, Steve. That's pretty awesome, man. That's really cool to see, guys. I mean, if you haven't subscribed, please come out to Scout. There was a tweet today saying you're not a subscriber, you're a member. And I believe that everybody's really close there. We're constantly, giving you, our hearts, our information. We're not hiding anything from you. We want to make sure, you're making these educated decisions. We're going to give you the information you need. But guys, the fun part about it is making your own lineups. That's fun. You did that. This is a sport in itself. It really is. DFS, you are putting in the effort. You are doing the research. You're just watching us. You know, we're going to give you tips and hints, but you're the one that pulls that trigger. Okay?
You're talking to a guy here that knows absolutely nothing about hockey, but I've won 3 out of the last 4 nights, and mainly because I'm taking advice from Steve Renner on Slack chat. And it's just like last week, I had guys on Slack chat say to me, "Hey, I've got 5 guys in the lineup, and I need to decide on the 6th guy. And here are my options. What do you think?" That's the kind of questions that we can answer very quickly on Slack chat. And that's why it's key that you take advantage of it. Steve Renner, for instance, in hockey, I'll throw a lineup in there and I'll say, "What do you think?" And he might say, "It looks good, but maybe you want to reconsider this guy and change him out." You know, it's not, I definitely change him out. Now, if he's that confident, he'll tell me definitely change him out. But there is so much feedback there. I can't stress enough to get on there and try, and it'll help.
Well said. All right, cash lineup for DraftKings. Let's get started. I'll start our cash this week since you've been starting us off each week. And cash, let's go with, I'm going to start with Bryson at 10K. I
knew you were. I already had it in.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm sitting here so I can keep track of the dollars. And I said, he's going to take, I know he's going to take you.
So you got $8,000 to spend.
Okay. I'm going to go Tommy Fleetwood. We're still around 8,000.
I'm going to go Charles Howell. Why not?
Yep. I'm going to go Ian Poulter. Of
course. Classic.
Right. Hey, you're
the cash lineup without
the guys made me money like they've made, you know, like Hugo made you money. Ian's made me money. I got to stick with the guy.
Hey, I don't blame you, man. I should have played more JT Poston. He had another good tournament.
I've been on him hard since you were on him early, and I've been on him ever since.
I'm telling you, that kid's season he's making some money this year.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna roll down I'm gonna actually do Emiliano Grillo. I really do think he's mispriced at 6,900. Give you some money to pay up.
Okay. Emiliano was
9,200.
Okay. See what we got up there. Oh, that's not bad at all. As much as I would like to say Jordan Spieth, I'm not going to do that in the cash lineup, but I will do Tony Finau at 8,900.
That's perfect. That's who I would have chosen at that spot too. He's just, even if he plays bad, he's going to score. He's a birdie machine.
Yep. Agreed. We leave 300 on the table, and that's fine.
Yes, that is a very good note. There's 72 golfers in the field. There is going to be so many lineups that are the same if you use all 50,000 of your salary cap. Please leave money on the table this week. I can't stress that enough. If your GPP has 50,000, there's probably one person that has the exact same lineup, if not 10 other people.
Absolutely.
All right, let's do our GPP. I'm going to start with Bubba Watson. Told you he'd be my #1 golfer.
There you go. All the way to Bubba. Let's see, where is Bubba here? There he is. 8,400. All right. Since we're doing a GPP and we need to take some darts here, I'm going to go down, and I am going to go with, as I find the name here, I'm going to take a shot at Tom Lewis.
All right. And he's at, what, 10 or 7K?
7K. We have 8,700 left.
Perfect. I'm going to drop down to Sergio then at 8K.
Okay. And I think I'll stay with the Spanish contingent, and I'll go with RCB.
All right. Then I will drop down and hit. I'll give you some money to play with. Oh, let's go. I'm going to go Byung-Hun An. He has not played this course yet, but
playing well. I thought maybe you would go Fitzpatrick down at that level, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to go Byung-Hun. I think he'll be like 0.5% owned. I really don't think he's going to be on anybody's radar this week.
Okay. And again, like we said, you can leave money on the table. I'm not sure that I want to at this point, but I am going to leave a little bit because I think I'm going to go John Rahm.
Perfect.
You got 3 Spaniards in there.
That leaves us 500 left on the table.
Yep.
All right, guys, that's it. Once again, we were with Scout Fantasy PGA. I'm Alex White, my co-host Mark Ferris. Anything you want to leave our listeners to before we get out of here?
Nope, just guys, we're here for you. Get us on Slack chat, get us on Twitter. I prefer Slack chat because it's more instantaneous, but Alex and I are here to answer any questions you have, so feel free to hit us up.
Well said. All right, everybody, let's see some green screens. Take it easy.